y'all, thanks for coming back for the final segment of the cabin kitchen. So 3 projects happening this week. One is staining all of the wood that we've added to the kitchen, tiling the backsplash, and working on a little office that's off the kitchen. Here we go. So it has been a while since we've been here, but I am back today and I am putting some stain on this new wood. So you saw that we were working, trying to figure out the right recipe. I think we've got it. So I am using, I think it's golden pecan. I'm putting 1 coat on that new wood. Now this old wood over here, we decided it was already aged pretty well. It's just gonna get a clear coat. So today we're not doing a clear coat, we're just working on stain. This leg has 1 coat, this doesn't. I'm thinking it's probably gonna take 2 coats, but we're gonna do 1 and let it sit for today. Right, so that is 1 coat of stain. The legs seem to be taking it better than the apron is. You can see under here. It's definitely gonna take a 2nd coat. We're gonna let this dry completely. I did hit some of these bad spots though, where the stain was, or where the brackets had been with a little stain, and that really covered up well. So that's good. So I'll be back tomorrow after this is good and dry. Hey y'all, we are back at the cabin kitchen. So yesterday I put a coat of stain on this apron and these legs, and they are not quite the right color. So I'm gonna lightly sand them and then stain them. And we're gonna get a coat on there, and then we are gonna start a new project right here in this sunroom. So stay tuned on that. As you can see, Jesus is getting good measurements because this room is a sunroom right off the kitchen. They use it as an office, and we are gonna do some cabinetry here. And we are not building this cabinetry. We ordered this from Wellborn Forest, where I get almost all of my cabinetry. But we are gonna just do 3 white cabinets, 2 drawer banks and a door bank in the middle. And we already have the countertop here. They measured that when they came to measure the kitchen. So we will make sure that what we install fits closely with that countertop. All right, so what we have done, what the guys have done, is they have drilled and screwed these 3 components together along with a 1-inch filler here. We haven't mounted any of it to the walls. It's just all attached to each other so that we can use the shims to level it and plumb it all as one big piece. So you can see we pulled the carpet back. We're gonna trim that carpet right up to the front and side of the cabinet, and then we will put our countertop on top. The next step in the kitchen is we are gonna tile this backsplash, and we had looked at doing a white, but then after we got the countertops in, we decided that having a little break from the white to the cabinet, something to kind of ease that transition, would do well. And we decided to go with this green Subway. It has just a little bit of a pit in it. It's a nice sagey green. And I think it's gonna look great. So that has been ordered. As soon as that tile gets here, we will tile this backsplash. I got a 2nd coat of stain along the apron and the legs. They're looking better. The lighting's a little off, but you can see, like right there, it matches up pretty good when it's in similar lighting. And the next step is going to be a clear coat on this that's been stained, and then also a clear coat on this that we have built. There's also a few places where we're just gonna do a little touch up, like right here, that actually got scuffed when the countertops came in. This is where that old tile was, so we're gonna need to sand that and maybe do a little bit of repair. But for the most part, we're getting very close. We're into the tiny little details. All right, so the cabinet is in place. It is installed to the wall. You can see that we got the drawers and the doors back in. Now we are cutting our toe kick that will go down here to tie those all together. And then we need just the tiniest little bit of piece of baseboard over there. and then we'll be done. We don't have the hardware yet for drawer pulls and doorknobs, so we're waiting on those. We may go ahead and set this countertop if we have enough silicone. I may have to make a Lowe's run, but this was a fairly quick and easy because it's a newer house and not near as crooked as the old houses we usually work in. All right, so that's a wrap on another day at the cabin kitchen and office adjacent. We did not have the caulk that we needed, so I'm gonna have to make a Lowe's run. So we just set that countertop in place, but you can see it looks great. So we'll be back tomorrow to finish the countertop and start putting a clear coat on those kitchen legs and apron on the island. And we're back. So you saw yesterday we finished installing this. I did another coat of stain, and I have just done the first clear coat on everything. And if we go over here, you can see new and old. It's matching up pretty good. So of course we've got to let it dry. I'll lightly sand it tomorrow and do another coat. Right now, the only problem I'm having is that board is not staining up like the rest of the things. It actually looks worse in person than it looks on this video. So I'm gonna try something else. Gonna go see the recipe that we made for the island may not be the right recipe for that little board. So I'm just gonna leave it for now. Leave my mess, come back in a few hours. I am using a fast drying clear coat. So I will lightly sand it and then do a second coat. All right, so we are wrapping up for the day. I've been here a couple days and just haven't shot footage. I left all these doors open because I did a clear coat across the top. Let me turn it around. Okay, so this little apron all along where the old countertops were dinged up. So I sanded those, I stained them, and then I just put one last coat of clear coat across them. This has been finished. I think it matches up pretty well. It's going to continue to age a little bit, but you know, you've got your old and your new. I did not do a clear coat on that window apron. That board is just not taking stain the same. And I didn't want to do a clear coat until the homeowner could look at it and let me know if she's happy with it or if we need to try a different stain. And then the legs and this apron turned out really good too. Again, they're gonna age a little bit more as the sun gets to them, as they're touched. Here is an example. This is that same board that we made the apron out of. And here is, we've got a couple of different things here, but what this is 2 coats of stain and 2 coats of clear coat right there. And this has just been sitting out in the sun. It's been a couple of weeks since we did it. And I think you can see that this has already started to age. The same treatment was done to the top board and the bottom board. So this is going to start getting closer and closer in color to the rest of the kitchen. I did a new fresh coat of black all the way around on that toe kick just to give it a cleaner look. So we are waiting on tile. But for the most part, we're getting really close to being done in this kitchen. So we are back and we are installing tile. You saw when we picked the sample, we ordered it. We had to wait for it for a while, but it's here and we are just getting started. Gio is out cutting those 2 pieces and I'm headed that way. We've got a little way to go. We are on a roll. As you can see, we're knocking it out. Gio is cutting. He's got 2 to cut here, 1 to cut there, and then everything else will just be end cuts. So he's cutting, and as fast as he can cut them, I'm sticking them on the walls. We don't have a grout color yet. We're gonna get this done and then decide. You can see the variation in the tile. Some have a whole lot of little dimples and dots, and some don't have much at all. And some have more than others. And I think overall it's looking really nice. All right, here is the somewhat completed project. Gio is putting the receptacles back in. We've still got those spacers at the top. but for the most part, it's done. We're gonna think about grout. You can kind of see what it would look like with dark grout. So we're gonna think about the grout. We'll be back to do that next. So it's been a few days. The tile is good and dry, and we are getting ready to grout. So I'm prepping first. I'm gonna tape all the way around, put some brown paper down, then mix up the grout and get to work grouting. And there's the finished product. So I obviously did a bad job filming the grouting, but it's done. I wanted to show you that we used a caulk that's stained to match the grout along the countertop, along the wood. I think it looks great. She went with a lighter grout color that's gonna get a little darker as it dries. But overall, it looks amazing. All right, so that is a wrap on the cabin kitchen. I regret that I didn't get a really good before and after pictures. I didn't get any good final video, but we definitely made a transformation. We more than doubled her countertop space. We added a lot more storage. We took that high back off that island, which opened up the flow between the kitchen and the family room. All in all, the homeowner was happy, and that's all that matters. I hope that you enjoyed this process. Come back next week because we are starting a new kitchen. We've been on a roll with kitchens. We're getting pretty good at them. So come back next week. We're going to be doing a kitchen facelift.